Welcome back to the Health Movement Podcast. Today's conversation is about something we all deal with. Guest Paul Amato shares why most people fail, why slipping up doesn't erase your discipline, and why sometimes the smartest move is just going back to the basics. And I do have to give him a special thank you. He's helping me train for the Midwest Bar Battles in May out in Cleveland, Ohio. I've never been one to do muscle ups, so he is getting me there. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it, my friend. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Health Movement Podcast. I'm Derek, your host. And before I introduce today's awesome guest, I do want to reiterate that we are not doctors. So before you go changing any programming, nutrition, anything like that, please consult with your physician. All right. So with me today, I have an Army and Navy veteran and the founder of the FVBLA, Paul Amato. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Derek, for having me.
Can you explain a little bit what the FVBLA is?
So that's my nonprofit that I set up 4 years ago to try and help veterans. I would kind of do like free consulting with business startup at the beginning. Now I'm kind of trying to channel it towards trying to find like different avenues for different therapies for PTSD and other things for veterans. So we're still very much in the groundwork of like working through those and finding those avenues, but that's where I want it to head towards.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. And you are just coming from the sauna right now?
Yep.
So
I seem to have lost my voice a little bit.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I'm assuming a nice, healthy lifestyle is kind of what you subscribe to.
It's what I try to subscribe to. There is no
Yes.
such thing as a perfect, lifestyle. We all have our ups and our downs. And for instance, ever since my last neck injury, I've had a couple. I've broken my neck more than once and had more than one fusion.
Wow.
After the last one, I had a lot of issues and I haven't been able to get back into training the way that I like to. So it's caused, some depression issues, and then I have PTSD and I have traumatic brain injuries. So you put all those together and the neck being messed up, it kind of makes for like the perfect storm of I ate Oreos and drank whole milk for 2 months, and that was super unhealthy. We all have our ups and downs, and this was definitely the worst that I've ever done. And now I'm back on track. But it just goes to show that it doesn't matter who you are or how strict you are for however long. We all have the opportunity to fall off, and we all have to pick ourselves back up.
Yep. And one of the best things, not that it's good to fall off, but when you're able to pick yourself up and get back on it, you know that you're capable of doing that, of fixing those, I don't want to call them mistakes. Life happens and you kind of deal with it in the
Right.
best way possible. And maybe Oreos and milk is far better than some options you could have chosen to
Oh,
go
I'm
down.
sure. I'm sure
Yes.
it is. But you're right. To your point, at least I do have the background and the knowledge base to understand, okay, now I'm going to go back to eating clean. I'm going to cut out all the sugary drinks. I'm going to cut out all the foods that have additives and processed stuff. And I'm going to go back to just, clean eating, clean drinking. It's too often I feel like we don't educate the population enough on what we should be eating or how we should be eating. I think they're trying to get better about it, but still a long way to go. Just stick to the outside of the grocery store. People don't even know that. They go in the aisles, and when you get in there, you see the ingredients and it's chemicals that you can't pronounce. Probably shouldn't eat it.
Generally, if it's in a box, stay away as much as you can. Obviously, you can't all the time, and it's fine not to all the time. But so subscribing to healthy living, what's that look like for you?
Putting a focus on only putting things in my body that I need, not overdoing it, making sure that, I have the fuel to perform whatever it is I'm about to go do. And I'm very much a eat to perform, not a eat to live, like eat to just eat person. Like I want to eat, my diet is based around what I'm doing to perform. So for instance, now I do the sauna because I can't do intense exercising. So I'll go to the sauna for an hour in the morning and then an hour in the evening.
Wow.
In the morning, it helps bring me up. In the evening, it helps me go back to come down and go to sleep.
So 2 hours a day in the sauna, that's a good amount. Most people would not don't do that, but that's dedication too, because you have to carve 2 hours out of your day every day to make sure
Correct.
you're doing that.
Yep.
Um, do you just sit? Like, can you read a book in there? Like, what's your situation like in the
Um,
sauna there?
I do a lot of stretching.
Okay,
I do a lot of stretching. So I had an elbow injury, so I've been doing like elevated push-ups to try and get back into the full range of motion without causing too much pain.
okay.
Um, Mainly stretching though, and then just starting at the top and tearing down. And I take a break at 30 minutes. I'll usually get out and I'll go jump in the cold plunge for 3 minutes at like 47 to 50 degrees of water, and then go back in and finish the half hour out.
So you said in the morning it wakes you up, in the night it
Mhm.
gets you ready for bed. Are there other specific health benefits for the sauna, and what temperature do you do this?
So this one, the temperature is usually set to 180. It goes up to about 200, depending on how many people are in there, or if water's being poured on the rocks, or just if somebody turns the temperature up, it can go up to. The temperature goes
Yeah.
up to 194 on the register, like how far you can turn it, but they don't recommend to turn it up that high. Um, I know that there are a ton of health benefits to it. The Finnish studies are probably the most thorough ones, which we could probably get links to that in here. But
Yep,
decrease
definitely
in
will.
cardiovascular disease risk, and mortality rate. And one that I keep seeing people talk about is Alzheimer's, which I don't really know a whole lot about. So don't quote me on that one. I haven't looked into it in depth, but I know that the Finnish studies say 175 degrees. I don't know the time domains that they recommend. I personally do the hour. Um, I don't know what the benefits are, like what the difference in the benefits between a infrared sauna that only goes to 130 and a wet sauna that goes to 200 or whatever.
But you enjoy the hot sauna that goes, or the
I
wet
enjoy the
sauna, excuse
hotter.
me.
I
So
enjoy the hot. The hotter it goes, the better.
that's in what we tell people on the all the time here is, especially if they're trying to figure out cardio or nutrition, find what works for you that you're going to
Hmm.
continue doing. That's the biggest hurdle that people need to get over, is find something you enjoy and that you can be consistent with.
Hey, as long as you're moving in a positive manner and your movement's good, like you're doing better than a lot of people.
That's
A lot
true.
of people
That is
don't do
definitely.
anything. If we're talking about the average, so it's we need to see a bigger focus on health and wellness and the human and taking care of our body. But it's really hard when everything that they put in front of us is so bad when it comes to nutrition. I mean, you have 1,000 more options that are unhealthy than you have that are healthy. And to
In
me, that's a major problem.
the stuff with no spray or chemical or anything like that seems to be more expensive
Oh yeah,
than the other stuff, which it seems counterintuitive to me.
right. They're paying for chemicals and drugs to give these things, but the product is cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure shelf life is a heck of a lot better.
Hmm.
So what are some of the things that you do? Oh, actually, before I ask you that, after your month-long hiatus with, Oreos and milk, how long after that, when you dialed it back in, did it take you to feel different? Do you remember?
I would say, uh, I mean, I felt like absolute trash for the first week. And by the second week, I started to feel a little bit better. And in the third week, it was like, okay, I can feel a difference now. My body's moving better because I wasn't just eating like that. I was sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day.
Mm.
And I don't know how people do that. I'm used to being up on my feet and training people all day long. I don't know how you sit for 8 hours ever.
Yeah, no, that's tough. I graduated with a computer science degree, and I'm an elementary school educator now. So the computer science, we were sitting down for a long time, and it was right around 2002. So the bubble had just burst, and there was no
Mhm.
work in computers. So we were really sitting doing nothing, and I was going nuts. And so teaching where I can get up and I can move around and be more active, even like recess duty is kind of a blast because you just get to go outside and make
Yep.
sure the kids are safe, but you're walking around, you're outside. I mean, it was 6 degrees when I got to school today, so today we didn't really go
It's a
outside,
little
but
cold right now.
yeah, in general, if you can put a winter hat on and some gloves, is much rather be outside than
Mhm.
cooped in for indoor recess, but, um, so it was a couple weeks, so, are you this the same sort of thing I found is if people can get through the first week, you'll notice a little bit of a difference. Get through the first 2 weeks and your eyes are opened and you're like, "All right, this is definitely worth it."
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's always worth it. I've had to take breaks before because of injuries, but never like this. This was completely on my own, like, just completely falling apart, over the holidays. So,
Mm,
you can always bounce back. It's tough. The thing I see that is probably the most common mistake that people make is they do too much too fast. They have this ambition of like, I'm going to get fit and I'm going to do this and I'm going to make sure that I'm eating clean. And they try to do it all at once instead of just picking one thing, focusing on that, making sure that you appropriately condition to that. Boom. We've made a step of progress. Now let's add something to it. Let's add another thing to it. And as those steps get up, you can start to add a lot more to that staircase. And then by the
yep,
end, you're good to go. It just, a lot of it's a mental thing. And it's you get this high and this endorphin release when you do exercise or do stuff, and then when you come down off it, you're kind of like, I don't know. And then when they do too much, you feel like the I don't know, and you're like, man, I can't do this. I can't keep up with this. And that's not the case. It's your brain just you're beat up because you're doing too much too fast. You
yep.
can most certainly handle it, but let's try and take it into smaller bites.
That's like when you're going through a workout routine and you're like, "All right, I'm gonna get 12 reps of this," and you stop at rep 12, where you had 3, 4, and sometimes like 10 in
In
reserve,
the tank, yeah,
and you don't realize it till you're like, "All right, I gotta really see what I can do," and you don't always wanna go to failure, and it depends what your training is for. Um, but it's the same sort of idea there, in terms of what you think you can do with eating. And I was just speaking to another guest, and it was the same sort of thing where it was like, all right, I can't do this, so I'm going to give up. I'm going to, whatever. It's done. But it's definitely there's far more resilience there, and building a new habit. You're not going to build
no,
5 or 10 brand new habits at once. You get one, maybe two. Um,
takes
but that's what
18
you get.
days to like
Yeah.
actually build a habit. That's what the science says. If you can be consistent for 18 days, you're pretty much good to go.
And the best thing about that is make a tally board or
Oh
put a
yeah,
big X on the calendar, like, "All right, I need to get to that day. That's the goal." And do it one day at a time. I just need to cross off today. Get that
100%.
done and then move on. Um, can I ask how you got the neck injuries?
You can yeah, we can talk about. I'll gloss over the second one because there's some stuff there. But
Okay.
the first one was wrestling when I was in high school.
Okay.
I got suplexed in folk style, and I did not tuck my head like I would have done in freestyle or Greco-Roman. So fractured C5, C6, and C7, and ruptured the disc between C5 and C6, I think.
Oh,
They did a fusion there, and then the most recent one, um, there was I got drugged. Long story short, and some things happened, and I believe I jumped out of a moving vehicle, and I fractured T5 to T1
holy
in
crap.
a couple spots, and it took. I went to the hospital 8 times. Everybody would do my blood work and say I was perfectly fine. I had the best labs they'd seen in 10 years. So they wouldn't do anything further. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm having neurological issues. This isn't my first rodeo, but it's the
Yeah.
VA. And nobody wanted to do anything. I eventually had my parents fly me back home to Pennsylvania. Went in, they finally did the MRI. I passed out in the MRI too. And they were like,
Jeez.
you need an emergency surgery. I started having seizures and passing out and got it fixed in a couple days. And when I woke up, I was like, oh, okay, I don't need any pain meds. This is amazing. I'm not burning alive anymore. I feel amazing. And now I've been on we're going on 3-year journey from that time when that happened to getting back into being active and doing stuff again. So it's been a lot of ups and downs coming from someone who owned a gym for a while, and weightlifting has been my life and training hard.
Yeah.
Um, it's I've had to find new things, and the sauna is my go-to right now. I'm slowly going back into the gym, trying not to push it too hard. Um, but it's been a
You
process.
Quick interruption. If you're finding value in this episode or any of the other ones you've listened to, please consider subscribing to the channel. 484 at the moment, and I'm pushing to get to 500 by the end of March. So please help me out and get there. Thank you, and back to the show. You are a guy, so I can speak from experience. The not pushing it too hard can be difficult when you're like, oh, I can do a little, so I can do everything again, and you can't. Yeah, I get it. I have Achilles tendonitis I'm coming back from, and I played basketball for the first time in a while last Saturday, and I took it easy. I didn't sprint, and then this past Saturday I played again, and it feels so much better. I'm like, nope, limit it to an hour, no full sprints. It's not the NBA. Like, just get up and down with all the other old guys, and, and you'll be good.
Have you ever done ART?
No.
So I highly suggest jumping on trigger points. I think it's triggerpointsTherapy.net. So there's a trigger point that's about midway up your calf that if you apply enough pressure onto it, it'll release the tension in your Achilles. When I would have people that would do too many double unders in the CrossFit gym, I would use that to help fix them. There's another thing. It's called a battle star. It's a little bit more aggressive than a foam roller that you can do on your calves, and you're down by the Achilles, and draw the alphabet with your foot when you're doing it. But the trigger point one, if you're having that issue, that's my
I will
coach
definitely
tip.
look I will definitely look at that. It's so much better now, and my PT figured out that it was like starting and originating in my hamstrings, in the right outside of my calf is tight, and every time they were like, we can't get it completely loose. Like, they'll work on it forever, and that's the Achilles. And now it's like I've been hammering it, and it's finally getting better. So I will definitely check out trigger points.
If it's your right leg
ART.
and your right Achilles, and on the outside of
Yeah.
the right, that trigger point will work.
Yeah.
I'm
Awesome.
90% certain.
All right. I'll give it a go. I appreciate that a lot.
Yep.
Actually, what's the V2 shots behind you? What is that?
So it's K2 roots.
Oh,
So
root K2. Your
yeah.
head and back was blocking it. I went
Yep.
for it and missed horribly.
So it's a very healthy, like, restaurant cafe type thing. It's owned by David Taylor. He was an Olympic wrestler here at Penn State. And then downstairs is Vitality Wellness, which is where the sauna is. They have cold plunge, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, red light therapy, a lymphatic drainage suit, compression therapy, and a cocoon tub.
Oh,
Some
awesome.
people are
All
some
right.
people are just leaving, so I had to wave to them.
No, you're good. I'll throw that in the show notes and give them a shout out for sure in the
So
description.
those are the two. Yeah, and the guy downstairs is another Olympic wrestler, Kyle Dake. Can't go wrong.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
But that's
So
what
that
that sign
seems
is.
like those are your people then, it sounds like.
Oh yeah,
That's great. That's
all
great.
about
So
health and wellness here.
I love it. What if you were to give people, the average person, let's just say, and I'm putting you on the spot here, I know,
Okay,
3 tips, 3 things that they can do that are going to help their life out. What would those 3 things be?
cut out soda,
Cut out soda. I like it.
walk at least 3 miles every day, and 15 minutes of yoga or stretching a day.
I love that one. So are those things you make sure you do?
The walking and the soda sometimes I have, but I do a lot more weightlifting. I stretch a little bit. I need to stretch a lot more.
Mm,
But if we're talking
that's the,
about someone who has not done a ton at the very beginning, those were the 3 basic things that I would say would make a huge impact on changing anyone from 0 to 100 on their fitness level. Like, if we're going with average.
yeah. And that's not too hard. It's an adjustment, and if you don't walk at all, you're not going to get to 3 miles in a day right away. Like we said,
Right.
work for half a mile, do that for a month, then go for a mile, and slowly build it up. I mean, you don't need to fix everything in a week or a month. Give it a year, 2 years, 3 years, and if you're heading in the right direction, that's gonna make a huge difference.
Right. In fitness and weightlifting, right? You're a novice weightlifter until you've done 5 years of training. It takes a
Yeah.
long time for the body to adjust to physical training. The muscles adjust quickly. The ligaments and the tendons take a long period of time.
Yeah, and if you don't know what you're doing too, you're gonna put a lot more strain on the ligaments and the tendons, and then that's where the
100%.
injuries come in.
100%.
And things like CrossFit too, it I've heard wonderful stories of coaches who know what they're doing and prepare people the right way, and then I hear horror stories too of people who I think just wanted the logo or the trademark and don't do the club the right way, and I don't wanna make any assumptions or anything like that. I've just that those are the stories that I've heard, but it
The
can be
same as everything. You
wonderful.
get in what you
Yeah.
put, or you get out what you put in. It's just difficult.
So
Good coaching is difficult to find, period.
yeah, and that's honestly with anything, like,
Yeah.
there's a doctor who finished last in his class, so maybe we don't go after that
That's a
individual.
good one.
Yeah. Um, so what's your training look like now? I know you said you're adjusting it and you're trying to get back into it. What sort of adjustments have you made?
So I'm going back to fundamentals. I'm trying to keep the weights down. I still want to do all of the movements. So I do back squats. I'll do deadlifts. I'll do a little bit of bench press. I can't do Olympic lifts with my elbow yet because I have a torn ligament and tendon. I tried, it was a bad idea. Uh,
Sorry for
so
laughing, it's just
it's
such a
fine,
typical thing for us to do.
right? Hey, I tried, it was a bad idea. Um, So I'm trying to just kind of slowly creep back in there. I'll do a cycling class here and there for my cardio. I try to get, when it's not freezing outside and it's actually nice, which will be the spring again, but 20 to
Uh,
30,000 steps a day. If I'm coaching on my feet a lot, it's real easy to hit that. If I'm not, I do a lot of walking and working on the phone while I'm walking. Um, but just the basics, right? I'm back at square one. Even though I have 20 some years of experience, I'm right back at square one. And I repeat the basics every year anyways, just a different way
yeah.
this time. I'm way lighter.
No, that's good, and it's a good perspective to have, and at least if you're at square one, you've already climbed the mountain or the stairs or whatever metaphor that would be the best to use there. You've done it before, it sounds like numerous times. So, while starting over is definitely frustrating, I imagine, you at least know the path you need to take.
Correct.
I was talking, there's a guest we had on the show a while back, and he was talking about people who have been unhealthy their whole lives. And, he likened it to getting lost in the woods. And if you go 10 miles into the woods, being unhealthy, so to speak, you have to work your way back out. And if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get lost a lot of times along the way. But you have a direct path coming back out. It's gonna take some time.
Thankfully, when I was younger and not in this kind of shape, I put a lot of time into learning those ropes and repeating it annually and then owning the gym and, coaching people for almost 10 years. I found that the best way to make sure everyone could make progress every single year was at the end of the year, we start back over. We go back to no weight just for 2 weeks. We go over all the basics, and everybody that has learned and progressed now learns more because they can feel the difference in where the weight is in their foot, or, they understand their body position relative to the load better than they did a year before. And now they're performing better, but they're learning every time. And it's kind of a beautiful thing to watch happen from the coaching perspective. I love it. I love seeing the progress.
I love that idea, and I don't I've honestly haven't heard that from anybody. We've been doing this for, I think this is show 85 or 6, or I don't even know what it is, but that week off or 2 weeks to just retrain the body, make sure any bad habits you've developed over the year, you can get rid of them, and then 2 weeks with no load, no weights, like, that does wonders for the body. It's hard to do and not do any lifting for 2 weeks, but it's definitely a great reset.
100%.
Are people hesitant when you tell them when you did
No,
tell them?
no, I'm like, listen, just because there's no load doesn't mean the workouts aren't going to be hard because now you're going to go faster. And I promise you, they're going to be difficult. And they usually find out they're
Yes.
real quick. They're like, yeah, you're right. That sucked way more with no weight. I go, yeah, tends to. We
I think
up
the
that intensity level that isn't weight, right? The intensity is now our rate of speed or rate of
yes.
movement, and you can
I
go
think
fast.
the most painful workouts I've ever done are the Murph challenges we'll do. And it's those, for those who don't know it, you run a mile, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and then run another mile. 300 squats with no weight is a nightmare. And then having to run a mile after, I couldn't walk for days. It was brutal. And without us, and this one we split up too, where we do
So
5
do you had a
pull-ups,
team?
10 push-ups. Yeah,
Oh, you
we
partitioned it.
no,
Gotcha.
yeah, we partitioned. We didn't do team style. I wasn't, yeah, we didn't do the 100.
20 rounds of Cindy always works.
Oh yeah. But wow, that's yeah, that's a good thing. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to get back to the basics for a few weeks and just recheck my form. Use the mirrors for what they're intended for, not to
Correct.
sit and flex in front of. Not I'm too old to do that. I'm usually in there in a hoodie and sweatpants anyway. It's freezing out, so that's not really my style anymore.
Hoodie and sweatpants are the way.
Yes. Oh, definitely, definitely.
So good.
I when I look in my closet, I think I have 15 hoodies in there now, and I'm like, "All right, I should start throttling back," but somehow I always end
No.
up with a new one, and I love it every time I get one.
Perfect.
So so looking forward for the next year coming up here, um, what are the goals that you have in terms of where you are right now and where you wanna get to?
For me or for the people I'm
For
working
you.
with?
For you. And I know I
Okay,
just put you on the spot
my
there.
unrealistic goal
Okay.
is I would like to get back to squatting over 400.
Wow.
That's my unrealistic goal.
Is that a
Realistic goal,
safe goal?
if I can build the core stability back the right way, yes.
Yes.
If I
Okay.
can't, no.
Alright. That's the unrealistic one. Do you have a realistic one? And I have a feeling if you put your mind to that, that's probably gonna happen.
The realistic one is, I would say, to be able to do the Olympic lifts again without having to have surgery on my elbow.
Oh, okay.
That would be my realistic, like, if I can find a way to slowly strengthen this and rehab it myself and get it back to that place, I'm getting better, but it's still a long way to go. That would be my realistic, like, I really want to get this goal.
I gotcha. Are you one to set like, do you normally set goals, for whatever it happens to be in terms of health or fitness?
I normally just try to find failure and then beat that.
I got
I-
you.
I'm not really like I usually don't set like a mark or a goal. It's, with wrestling, it was like you had to make a weight.
Yep.
But with fitness, I've never like had targets except for maybe, hit this lift.
Yep.
Um, but usually I just try to find failure and then get better than that. Like I don't know what the limits are until I hit the failure. So I kind of get comfortable with finding failure.
That's good. So failure's a good thing in your mind.
First attempt in learning.
I like it. I like it. That's been a recurring theme lately too, is you got to embrace failure. If you don't fail, you're
Hmm.
not train hard enough. Um, which I think is incredibly important for people to realize and understand. Well, Paul, I really appreciate you hopping on the show. Is
No
there a
problem.
way people can get in touch with you, or if they wanna see how things are going?
Yeah, they can email me at paul@fvbla.org. It's probably the easiest one. Um, or my Instagram, P.S.Amato. Um, or the other things that they can look into. I do work with two other nonprofits, the Concussion and CTE Foundation, which is all for traumatic brain injuries. They do a lot of stuff with veterans now, and then Stop Soldier Suicide. So those are the three areas: training and those two nonprofits that mine I kind of work with.
All right. Awesome. Well, I'll put all that stuff in the show notes, so people can reach out.
Perfect.
And, Yeah, thank you for hopping on, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you taking the time, and we will definitely catch you in the next one.
Thank you for having me, Derek. Have a wonderful